All right, it's your boy. Welcome back. It's the 10th day. Oh, 10 days of doing this shit, and I'm already exhausted. Not because of this, to be honest, because you only spent like 15 minutes or so doing really trivial things. I just talk everything that I could think of, which is not the hardest considering I'm a huge fan of talking and writing and contemplating. But still, the the work my work schedule has been pretty hectic lately, and I got to there is um, a thing coming up which all of the Handu student has to do, which is to pick the subjects that we are going to learn in the next year. I'm pretty worried, to be honest, because this is a year where I have to choose to pick either uh, interpreting and translating or teaching English and stuff. So definitely I will choose teaching, but still there are many subjects, many specialized subject to take into consideration, and well, I can already say it will be a really busy year, and I might even have to quit my part-time job right now, which I'm not really happy about. Well, it's one of the most memorable thing that ever happened to me, and it has really changed a lot in my changed a lot my career, like, trajectory. Yeah, I I used to think that I would do something else, but after taking this job, I could say quite confidently that I was really born to be a teacher for now. I will I'm not sure how things will change in the future, but right now yeah, I'm pretty certain that I will become a teacher. And so, having such determination from what I consider to be quite an early stage of your life is something I'm really proud of, and I'm quite happy with. Many friends of mine are still living in confusion. They don't know what to do after they graduate. But for me, despite not entirely sure the the exact location or the specific pool of students that I'm going to teach, but still, it's still a positive note showing that I am on the right track. So yeah. Well, all of this just to say I'm pretty down. So yeah, let's get to work, shall we? Okay, so we will continue the topic of hobby and leisure activity, and I will continue with question number 11. Let's get to it. Question 11. What are the disadvantages of your hobby? If you have watched the previous video, you would know that my current hobby is walking. And one disadvantage of this pastime is that if you are really determined about fitness, then walking will not be the optimal option. For one reason, it is just too light. You know, when uh, you have to walk like for 20 kilometers to really feel something in your muscle, and so it will take a lot of time for walking to really show its effectiveness. So I would not recommend if you are a hardcore, you know, workout guy. I would not recommend walking. Mm, what hobbies are popular in your country? amongst the younger generation, I can definitely see movies and games being two of the most prevalent um, pastime to do because it's accessible and its popularity just keep um, rising every single day. Children from a very early age or have the access to smartphone and computers, so they can easily download games and watch movies all the time. But we are also seeing some new trend coming up when it comes to leisure activity, such as board games. You may have heard of Werewolf, but there is something going on recently that I would like to talk about as well, such as Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer 30,000. Those are some of the board games that are being exported from other country, from the Western country to Vietnam, and is gathering pretty significant amount of players. Which hobby do you interest or enjoy? I have already answered that. Which hobby or interest you had when you were a kid already? Do you think parents should encourage children to have a hobby or interest? Definitely, because having something that their kids are passionate about is really important for them to develop creativity and to develop some social key skills. Because if they have a hobby, then I'm quite sure they will need someone to share it with. So they will make a lot of friends and the conversation between those of the same idea will be much easier for the kids to have. So yeah, and when it comes to being passionate about something, I think if the children are in have enough interest, they will spend more time doing those hobby rather than just scrolling the phone mindlessly like us adults do, which I do not condone. Those activity are really harmful for your brain health. Next question. Talk about your hobbies. I've already talked about it. Do you prefer to be indoors or outdoors? Mm, um, I would say I'm in a neutral zone. As long as I have a private space for myself, then I'm pretty okay with being inside or outside. Well, inside, sure, I live alone in a rent room, so there is private space all the time, but there is still some private moments when you go outside, especially for me when I'm walking, because I do not walk with a friend or an acquaintances, and I do not meet that many people that I know during my walking session. So it's pretty easy to stay in your zone, and you do not have to talk to anyone. So I would say that is quite private, quite personal, to be honest. So yeah, I would say both are perfect if you don't have to talk. Next question. How do you keep fit? Well, I believe I already answered this by walking right now. I used to be really into something you would call calisthenics. Those are, imagine going to the gym, but instead of using weights, you use your own body weight. So I will do some really normal practices like push up or pull up or chin up even. To be honest, I think that is much more effective in terms of fitness comparing to a light stroll. But I do not have that much energy right now. I am completely snowed under work, and so I was just doing something that is light. How do you What do you do to relax in the evenings? There is something that I can think of right now, which is to watch a TV series or movie. I really enjoy, watching something and spend times to review and give my and write my thoughts down. So it's important for me to gather enough resources so that I can continue with my my writing session. So right now I'm watching a TV series that is really popular recently. Is not recently. It has become well known since, I don't know, 2017, to be honest. It is Stranger Things. Those are it's a really good series, and I would recommend it to anyone I meet. What do you like? Do you like to relax with others or by yourself? Mm, I'm more okay with being alone rather than to talk with other people, except for the friends that I'm really close to. But that will the list of friends will be then narrowed down to just 5 or 6 people that I know, which is not a lot. And I know that my friends have a lot of time on their own. They need time for themselves as well. They are also introvert, and they also are extremely busy. And so I do not meet them as much as I used to. So being alone is much better for me to relax. How do you spend your free time? This question, I will skip this one. How often do you? Yeah, it feels like all the question is repeated. Really. Uh, yeah, it is in fact repeated. There's question number 36. Oh, 35 is also not repeated. So yeah. How did you become interested in whatever the hobbies the candidate mentioned? Say um so I would say walking. Yeah. How did you become interested in walking? Mm, so it all began when a friend of mine challenged me to download an app which counts your steps every time you walk. And she added me into a list of people that are using the same app as well. And I can see that they are all really, passionate about getting enough steps every single day. So it got me wonder, what if I can do the same thing? Will my health or my emotion be any better at all? So that's how I started. And right now I'm the top leader of that group every single day, which shows how passionate I am about walking, which is pretty it's pretty insane looking back. That I was the one who was really lacking, but right now I enjoy walking every single second. So yeah, it's pretty significant, to be honest. What is there in your country slash hometown to do in your free time? Right now I'm living in Hanoi, which is not my hometown at all. My hometown is Sula, which is 300 kilometers away from this. Yeah. So if you headed north, you will get to a really mountainous region. That will be my hometown. So because of the rough terrain, there is not enough open spaces to build, a stadium mm, or park of this stature like in Hanoi. But there are still many things to do. In the summer, I would usually just work out inside my home. As I said, I used to do calisthenics, so you do not need that much open spaces to do that. You can also, spend time watching TVs and go to the cinema, which will definitely cost you a bit more money because you have to travel. I have to travel quite far from where I live to the place where they actually built the cinema, which is 27 kilometers away, if my memory serves me right. So not that much. Sơn La is still underdeveloped. I have to say that. And but you will come to term with it once you stay there long enough. It's it's perfect for those who live a reserved life, and I consider myself to be one of them. Should I? Nah, I'm too tired, and we've passed the 15 minutes marks, so I will just move on to task number two. And today we have choice, childhood, city and town. Oh, this is good. Talk about a person from the childhood whom you particularly admired. I like this. Let's go. Now, to be honest, I cannot think of anyone right now. That's hard. I'm really. Oh, okay. I will not note anything down today because I don't know. Let's just begin. Okay, so talk about a person whom you particularly admire. Um, right off the bat, I can't say it's my dad. My father back in the day had to. Well, the relationship is yeah. He is my father, so I will always look up to him for all the things he has done. But if you have, if I had to give some examples about his feat, I would definitely say the dedication of himself to the work he did. So back when I was a kid, he has to work. He has always been a banker, but when I was a kid, he had to work really far from our home. I live in Hatlot, which is close, but he had to work all the ways at Yên Châu, which is 60 kilometers away from my home. And no matter how busy he was at the time, he will always found himself the time to go back to our house from his workplace in the evening, and then he would just wake woke up in like 5 a.m. in the morning, and then got back to work afterwards. So, and he was able to do that for almost 10 years, which is not a short time at all. And to be able to achieve such dedication is just completely incredible to me. And when I was a kid, I didn't think much of it, but growing up, I soon realized how much he cared about his family and how much he tried to provide the best things for all the family members. And those were the reason he worked that far. Right now, he has moved to closer area, which is Hanoi, so only 10 kilometers away from my home. But still, he worked all the time. I sometimes as a kid I would dislike his behavior just because he did not spend as much time with me comparing to my mom. But he did all of that just because he got to work. He need to, you know, give us the money we need to to finish our study, to provide for the everyday expenses. So yeah, I I really appreciate what my dad has done for me and for the family. So he will always be my role model. If someone asks me, who do you want to become in the future? Even even if our path is completely different. He worked in the bank, he worked with numbers a lot. But me, I'm not good in math at all. I am let's say a buffoon when it comes to numbers. And I'm more of a teacher. So I will definitely follow my mom footsteps rather than my dad. But my admiration of him comes from his hard working, his determination, and also his care for the family and those around him. That's all. I yeah, well, I did rambling a lot. Well, because I did not wrote anything down, and there's no stress when it comes to time. I will just try to talk as much as possible. It's not like I'm taking the IELTS test that early. So yeah, these are just like example, and well, I don't really concerned about keeping the time reasonable. Now, so yeah, 21 minutes. I'm just so tired these days. Yeah, I have nothing else to talk. I would just watch Stranger Things right now and see you guys on I even forgot what the date today is. So yeah, I will see you guys on Thursday.